Hey, how's it going? Hey, happy Saturday. How's everyone doing? Oh, my camera's a little bit different. I did some recording and my camera's just a tiny bit different, but it's all good. All good. Just different angle. I like it. It was kind of leaning earlier. But anyways, how's it going? Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing? What are you guys working on? I'm curious to know what you guys are working on. You guys may or may not know what I've been working on. I've been going crazy with UPSs and this thing called Nut and Nut Server and network UPS tools, and it's actually really awesome. So, but yeah, it's pretty awesome, pretty complex, and there's a lot of moving parts. But I think I figured it all out. So, anyways, that's what I've been working on. Getting my UPS server to be able to serve out information so that all of my connected clients know when they're on UPS power, even if they're not physically connected to that UPS. So it's actually pretty cool, but pretty complex, and it's actually kind of an older product, but it's still kind of the best in breed. No one else has come up with anything better. It is nuts. It was totally nuts. So anyways, yeah, what are you guys working on? What can I help with? What questions do you have? It's kind of the questions I ask you guys every Saturday that we meet up, and happy to answer anything that you guys have questions about or things you want to talk about or things you're working on. I know that a lot of people have a lot of things going on in Discord. I see it every day, all day, and it's awesome. It's awesome that you guys found a place to hang out and chat about this type of stuff. It's awesome for me. It's inspiring too. Gives me lots of ideas of things to work on and possibly make videos for. So I appreciate it. Also, real quick, I usually talk about the weather real quick. Weather in the Midwest, we had a cooler spell. First day of fall, felt like a normal fall day, and now it's going to ramp back up and be warmer. I think we're getting a longer summer this year, at least in Minnesota. It's going to be mid 80s, upper 80s by the end of the week. So we'll take it. We'll take it. Summer's trying to hang on. And I know that it is truly fall. I mean, kids are back to school. I say kids. People are back to school, kids too. And football games and everything, it's starting to feel like fall, especially the weather, though. I think on Friday here, it was like 55. It was yesterday. It seems so long ago. Friday morning is 55. And I was like, it was the first time I was cold in probably 8 months. I was like, whoa, this is what it feels like to be cold, because I never get cold. So anyways, so before we get started, there's lots of comments rolling in, and we'll absolutely get to them. So, but real quick, before we get started, there were a couple of follows and some activity that started as soon as I went live and shortly before. So I'll just roll it back. Resh 2012, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Zar Vezan, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Solvek, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Jason Peters, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Dagan Root. I'm going with that. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Juan Rivera, I think that is. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Torkamanta, how's it going? Resub Prime, 4 months. Thank you so much. Thanks for the Prime sub. You were testing my lights as I went live, so I appreciate that. Lights were working. And a lot of late speak. I'm gonna go with Haas. Oh gosh, oh man, we'll see. If you don't know, yeah. Anyways, Haas is so most accounts that say Haas in the name are related to this whole entire bot net of Twitch bots that are doing these hate raids, which is terrible. But anyways, when I see Haas, I'm like, oh, is that the Haas, the bot Haas, or just someone who happens to have Haas in their name? So anyways, and then Involute, hey, thanks for the follow, appreciate it, welcome. So anyways, but yeah, as I was saying, yeah, I've been working on a ton of stuff. So I've been working through Nut Server, figuring that all out. I still haven't figured it totally out yet, but I have this. I have a basic setup working, which is more than basic. But the way it works for me is that I have Nut Server, which is running on a Raspberry Pi. Hey, Rami Main, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. Prime sub. Thanks for spending it on me. Appreciate it. Hey, thank you. So I have Nut Server that's running on a Raspberry Pi. On that Raspberry Pi, it has 3 UPSs connected. Those 3 UPSs connect to have different devices connected to them. One's specifically for my fiber modem, and a few other things I have up on the wall. One is for my UDM Pro and so basically my network backbone. And then one is for my server rack, which is a couple of Proxmox servers. And so the way I have it set up now is basically that, hey, if the main UPS is on power for more than 3 or 4 minutes, it's going to shut down all of my hypervisors. And so that's purposeful. I did it based on a timer, not based on load or percentage, because that varies. I might switch to a percentage or load at some point, but I did it based on time now, because I can do the math and calculate about how much runtime I have. Plus, it tells me on the screen, although that's not always accurate. When you put a load on UPS on batteries, that runtime can drain down a lot faster. So anyways, I got that all figured out, but I have some other cool things I need to do because, shutting things down is only half of the equation. Waking them back up is the other half. So that's why ultimately I decided to put my NUT server on my Raspberry Pi, is so that it is not connected to the UPS, at least that it's not going to shut down as part of this whole entire process. It will continue to run. Hopefully there's a few watts left over in that battery for this device to stay on until the power comes back on. If not, as soon as the power comes back on, the Raspberry Pi will be back up because it's PoE powered. And then that's the other half of the equation. Now I'm going to be able to query that device and say, hey, are you on battery power? Yes or no? And it'll say, no, I'm not on battery power anymore. And I'll say, okay, well, what percentage of battery do you have? If it's, 30, 40%, I'm going to say fire up all the engines. So that's the other half of this. So hopefully I'll figure it out here soon, and I'll share that. I'll probably share that in, I don't know, either in Discord or somewhere. But most likely not in a video, but I'll share it somewhere. So anyways, if you guys have figured that out, let me know, because that's the other half of this equation that I was talking about. It's one thing to shut them down. It's another to bring them back up. Right now I have a bunch of scripts that do wake on LAN packets to power things on if they're not powered on. I'm going to switch that to be more conditional based on battery now, because I don't want to keep waking something up. You can imagine what could happen if I actually shut down a machine while I'm on battery backup and say there's, 1% of battery left. Well, my current Pi Zero is saying, hey, are you alive? It's pinging that device, and if it doesn't respond, then it's going to say, wake up. And so I can get myself into some trouble doing that. So now I'm going to base it on power too. So that little script, that Pi Wake on LAN script I have in my GitHub, I'm actually going to either modify that or create a new one that now queries NUT server to say, are you on battery power? Are you on battery power? Are you on battery power? And that's going to be the first condition first. And then after that, it's like, no, okay, well, no, and then ping, and then, okay, are you guys alive? Yes or no? And then wake them up. Or, matter. I haven't figured out the code. I'm like writing it in my head as I talk, but I'll figure it out. So anyways, let's get into this. Real quick too, I kind of have a hard stop right about an hour from when we started. I know I've been pretty loose about it, but I do today for sure. I got to help my wife paint. I was painting up until here. You should have seen it. I had this bandana on and like this shirt I have underneath on, and I was painting, and I was debating like coming on with the bandana. I was like, this is kind of weird. Maybe some other day. I've done it before, but I was like, I better get cleaned up. So I threw on my best tie-dye. Throw on my best tie-dye for you guys. So anyways, and then if we just run short and run out of things to talk about, I'll probably end it there too. So that's just always how it goes. So anyways, I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm blabbing a ton. I know you guys have a ton to say, but like I said, if you have questions about anything, want to share anything, let me know. Let's talk about it. And let's figure it out. So who was here first? Torquemada. It looks like Torquemada was here first because Torquemada Prime resub. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I am Mangus. Hello. How's it going? Takano. What's up, man? How's it going? How are you? Manny01. Hey, Takano. Got a free Cisco SG350 28 port. Nice, man. Was that the one that I saw that you posted in Discord super late last night in hardware? Well, late for me, and it wasn't even super late. I was working on my video until about 2:30. So anyways, was that the one that you posted about you were afraid of some kind of corrosion on some of the connectors? Because, man, that's awesome. And you were talking about this last week. Like, you always find the best tech at your Goodwills or wherever you find on the secondhand market. I don't know if that one is from Goodwill, but last week I think you were thrift store shopping, and I wonder if you picked that up. Pretty awesome. You find some good stuff. Like I said, like most of the Goodwills around here are picked over when it comes to tech. I guess I haven't visited in a while. Maybe it would be a good chance to refresh my memory or recollection on the tech that they have, because it changes, obviously every day. But most of the time it was, it's a lot of VCRs, a lot of older TVs, a lot of CD players, DVD players, but nothing on the scale of like, hey, a Switch. Oh, every now and then, yeah, I see access points, lots of people's older access points. Every now and then you'll see like a WRT, like any of the WRT ones, which are, to me, still awesome because you can run, I forget the replacement firmware for it. I ran it for years, but you can run the replacement firmware for it, and they're still pretty awesome and do lots of cool stuff for them. Still make them, clients and bridges, which is awesome to be able to create a bridge even within your own house. Soon I'm going to create a bridge probably just to my workbench because I don't want to run network cables anymore than I already have. So anyways, IoT, Emmy Labs. Hey, how's it going? Oh, like this. Jetfire? Oh, yeah, I should totally do something like that. Oh, I see what they did. So this is probably a sub 1, sub 2, sub 3, or perks you get over time. And so you can complete this emoji. I like it. Igamus. Hey, thanks for following. Appreciate it. Welcome. How you doing? Ilud. Hey, how's it going, man? How you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Takano works great with minor corrosion. That's exactly what I was talking about. Minor corrosion on the 2 optical SFP ports. Nice, man. Yeah, I don't know that model specifically, but I assume it's gigabit. And if it has SFP, that's awesome for uplinks. So yeah, man, good find, especially if it still works. Droid. I'm just going to call you Droid. Droid RZR. Droid Razor. There we go. Droid Razor lover. I usually just say Droid. But how's it going? Sup, Tim? Working on deploying some new VMware products into my network, getting it ready for when I upgrade my servers to R620s. Nice. Yeah, R620s have been super popular within at least our community that we have. And our 620s and 520s, yeah, they've been talked about quite a bit. So that's awesome. VMware products. Curious what you're going with. I assume ESXi, and that's about all I can think of for VMware products. I know they have other products, but a lot of add-ons to that. Yeah, curious what you're going to run on those, and then curious about your workloads too. Always curious. And then what operating systems you're going to run those workloads on. Those are always good talking points for sure. Let's see. Envelope, call that one. ISO, how's it going? Good day, everyone. How you doing? Let's see. One Drop. Hey, man. Sorry I can't watch today due to IRL stuff. Love you. One Drop. Hey, no problem at all. Hopefully it's going well. I still owe some brain power to what we've been kind of casually talking about over the last couple of weeks, which is using Search Manager to manage my search instead of having traffic do it for me. I mean, obviously still keep traffic there as my internal load balancer or as my reverse proxy, but then hand off the task of renewing my certs and getting my certs to Cert Manager. So yeah, hope you're doing well. No, and thanks for popping in. I do appreciate it. IoT Emmy Labs. I gotta get better at saying it. I made a synchronizing and organization server for all my media, along with automating my toilet to a door lock. Nice. I'm interested in automating the toilet to a door lock. I'm totally interested in that. That can go so many ways. Like, is there a sensor on the toilet to where the door locks if it feels pressure on the seat, or are we talking like when it flushes, it unlocks? I need to know. This sounds interesting to figure out. But until then, we can only speculate. But then synchronizing and organizing server for all my media. Yeah, super popular. I think that's how that's a good gateway into home labs or rack mount servers or data hoarders. Like, this is like the gateway drug for everyone, I think. For a lot of people to get into either home labbing or data hoarding is media server, because you want to spin up a media server. Maybe you do it on a Pi or low power device. Real quick, Nashoba TV. Thanks for following. Appreciate it. Welcome. But you spin up a media server, you maybe do it on a Pi or low power device, and then you're like, well, I might want to do some transcoding, and then so you upgrade, and you're like, okay, I'll do it on a server, and maybe I need a video card in there, and why not just virtualize it, because then I can share all this infrastructure, and then you're like, okay, well, I need more storage than this USB attached drive. Maybe I'll get another drive, and then, well, I don't want my media to go away if one drive dies, so I'm going to create an array. And you just go down this spiral path of, then you end up like me with a disk shelf, 2, 3 servers, and a cluster, and who knows what's going on or what will happen next. So anyways, sounds awesome. Curious what products you're using or what software you're using to solve that problem. And what is the problem? I know you're organizing media, but is it cataloging? Is it streaming? Is it hopefully not pulling down? Hopefully it's ripping and storing media you own. We'll go with that. PC Geek, what's up, man? How's it going? Let's see. Tor Kamada, I'm working on getting rid of this hangover. I hear you, man. Well, I don't have one, but I have. So I don't really drink. I can't say that I never do, but maybe one beer a year. But I that is the worst feeling to try to get over. I kind of feel like I have that right now. I feel like I get that hangover feeling if I don't drink enough water. Like if I stay up late and not drink enough water, the combination of the two, when I wake up the next morning, I feel like I have a hangover. I mean, it's kind of what it is like a dehydration, minus the liver working overtime. But that's, I feel you, because I get that a lot, because the later I stay up, the less water I drink and the more I'm burning off, and I totally forget about it. So I kind of feel like that today. It's why my voice is like a little bit lower, have a little headache. So I'm there with you. I'm not going through detox, but I'm going through lack of hydration. So let's see. iLude. I'm prepping to make lights go nuts for an hour straight with the 20+K points. On Techno, 16K there. I know. I keep telling you guys I'm going to have a good reward for you, and I want it to be good. It won't be, the 10,000 points that I made Techno burn once. But it will be better. I want to do something similar to that's going on now, but on a grand scale. Thank you. Thanks for changing that. Speaking of changing the lights, thank you. Oh, yeah. Hawaii. I feel like I'm somewhere tropical. But I want to do something similar to that, but like gigantic. And I thought about doing this in code with components that are on the screen. So it'd be 100%, virtual, but I kind of like the physical. I like connecting, the virtual to physical like I do with that screen. And so I haven't really figured it out yet. If I do, it'll be that mirror will get replaced, or I'm going to run something all the way across back up there. That's kind of the idea, is to basically build a big marquee of LED panels. But I got to find the right thing, because these LED panels that I have down here, I mean, they're relatively small. It's like perfect. It's like perfect for that picture frame, and it works great. Like, I love it. But I kind of want bigger LED panels to go totally across the wall. And then I don't want it to look totally jank too. Like I could just mount them up there, but I want to frame it in something. So I don't know, tons of ideas. The code piece is easy, for me at least, to figure that out. That's the fun part, because I already figured it out there. It's just the hardware and what do I buy is kind of the more challenging part. And usually things like this, I noodle on for weeks, and then all of a sudden I get super excited about it, pick out all the stuff and build it. So anyways, hopefully I'll have something good. And I won't make it crazy, not crazy like 20K, but we'll see. Droid Razor. I'm working on saving money for a Cisco Nexus 3064 PQs for my network and PowerEdge R620s. There we go again. Going to deploy 4 of them into a vSAN and have about 24 terabytes of raw space. Wow. Nice. I don't even know what a Cisco Nexus 3064 PQs is, but it sounds pretty awesome. I assume some kind of network backbone. I mean, it is Cisco, so I'm I'm just guessing, but going to deploy 4 of them, so 4 620s into a vSAN and have about 24 terabytes of raw space. That is awesome. I'd love to see pictures, because I do better with pictures. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see this hardware or a diagram of what you plan on doing, because I have some mind. Hey, real quick, Jag Games 1 gifted tier 1 sub to Manny 01. Dude, thanks so much for gifting a sub, Manny. Enjoy your gifted sub from Jag Games. But yeah, I'd love to see what your plan is, because I have some ideas. Like I kind of want to change up my disk shelf situation type thing right now. I have some ideas. Like, I'm obviously running TrueNAS virtualized. I have been since day one. I've never ran it physical, and it's been working great. The one downside that I always say is that it is virtualized. So when I shut the hypervisor down, my storage is gone. That's the one downside. My hypervisor's rarely ever down. But a lot of things depend on my NFS storage, and I use object storage, I use SMB, so Samba shares, NFS, you name it. I have every type of storage running in there. So when I shut that down, it's essentially shutting down most of my network, besides just general internet connectivity. So Droid Lover, dude, thank you so much. So Droid Lover gifted a tier 1 sub to Akila. Achilles. I'm going with Achilles. Dude, thank you. Thank you so much for gifting that. And Achilles, I'm going to go with that. Droid gifted stuff from Droid Razor. But yeah, so I'm curious. I'd love to see, like, what I'd love to see this hardware or some kind of diagram, because it gives me ideas of what to do. Anyways, I've been like noodling on like what my next kind of storage solution's going to be. It's obviously going to be TrueNAS, but do I go to physical? Do I stay virtual? I love virtual because it's just not another thing running. The one thing that kills me is, like I said, when I reboot, it's like, sorry, like most of the things that depend on storage now are not there. It's rare, but it does happen. But the same goes for when I'd have to reboot that server anyways, but it's just less likely. Like I reboot my hypervisors almost on a schedule because I patch them. So, and I do patch my TrueNAS server, but it has a different release cycle than Debian. Well, at least now, until I go to TrueNAS scale, then I'll have a pretty similar release cycle for patches. Anyways, let's see, XZMata. Oh, Chicano nut. yeah, for sure. I don't know this emoji. What is this? Wubby Wave. How's it going? Let me grab a drink. Zedmata, are you using anything to log nut data to Prometheus or InfluxDB? Great question. Am I? No. Will I? Yes. So great question. So am I doing it now? No. Do I want to? Absolutely. Absolutely. Am I going to? Absolutely. A little sneak peek. A lot of the things that I'm doing now, especially this, are prerequisites to some graphing and data storage, some long-term storage and logging things I'm going to do in the future. So I want to make sure that I have the things in place to be able to gather that data before I store that data and visualize that data. But absolutely, I haven't decided what the solution's going to be. I would love, Grafana charts, and I've set those up for Kubernetes before and set them up for Rancher. But they're pretty isolated, and it only tells one part of the equation or one part of the story here in my home lab, which is a pretty big part, which is Kubernetes. But at the same time, then that kind of, leaves gaps in things like, like NUT, like power on the UPS, like disk space left on TrueNAS. And so these are things I definitely want to do, and it's in my backlog, but I want to make sure I have those systems in place to be able to gather that data and then store that data. So absolutely, it is coming, and hopefully I'll get to a point where I have my dashboards looking great and be able to share them with you guys. So yeah, great question. It's exactly the path I'm going down. Haven't figured out, if it's going to be Prometheus, InfluxDB, Grafana Loki, what it's going to be. So. But I do want to have a solution that's all encompassing, and I don't want it to be, this is what I do for Kubernetes and this is what I do for the rest of my infrastructure, because like I said, that only tells part of the story, and I want to see the big picture of everything that's going on in my network or things that I should pay attention to on my network. Rakazed. Hey, thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you so much. IoTemi Labs. I connected NUT to Home Assistant. Nice. So then, in the RVEN of power outages, in the middle of the night, once the power returns, it shuts off and auto turns on the lights. It's awesome. Wait, let me review this real quick. So one thing, yeah, I know Home Assistant has a plugin for NUT, and it's fantastic. Like if you're running Home Assistant, and just use their plugin for it, and you get a lot of this out of the box. I went for the more bare bones solution. Like, I don't run Home Assistant. This is the persona I was going after. I don't run Home Assistant, but I want to check out Nut, or I have one machine that has an old UPS without an LCD screen, but yet all this data is locked inside of this device. I paid for this device and it has all of this smarts, but it's still locked inside of the device. Well, Nut helps you unlock that. But let me look at this. So you connect it to Home Assistant. Then in the RVEN of power and then in the event, I assume, of power outages in the middle of the night, once the power returns, it shuts off and auto turn on the lights. That's awesome. That is pretty awesome. That's kind of what I'm going for is gracefully shut down my machines that need to be gracefully shut down, and then my Nut server that's running on a Raspberry Pi that's PoE powered from my power PoE switch will just hold on for dear life for a couple hours, and hopefully by then the power comes back on. But like I said in that video, like if the power's out, in general, if the power's out for more than 5 minutes, it's going to be out for a long time. Like, it's rare that in a long time is obviously, it can be, what am I trying to say? Basically in my mind, sorry, I'm like getting ahead of myself, thinking about the next thing I'm going to say. But basically in my mind, if it's off longer than 5 minutes or at 5 minutes, it's going to be off for a while. And that could be an hour, it could be 2 hours, could be 30 minutes, but it's going to outlast a lot of at least my main UPS's battery. So I'm just going to gracefully shut all those guys down, at least the ones that need to be gracefully shut down, let the others hang on for dear life. And then once the power gets restored, I'm going to start, I'm always querying the server to say, are you on battery power? And once it's not, and the battery's at a certain level, I'm going to fire the servers back up. That's the goal. But looks like you got a lot of that from Home Assistant. Yeah, Home Assistant has a great plugin. So if you're running that, absolutely go down that path, because those people that run the open source project have figured out so much stuff. It's so awesome. Giwoon Willie, working on my Pixie Boot server. Nice. Yeah, this is something that I need some more of that in my life. I used to do, I wouldn't say a ton, but I was a huge fan of Pixie Boot back in the day. It was so magical. It was so magical to me. Hence probably why they call it the magic packet when you wake something up. But it was so magical when I used to do more desktop support stuff. When I image machines, I would send this wake on LAN packet, and then the BIOS would say, hey, if I was woken up by a magic packet by PXE, my first boot device is now network. And so it would then go out and say, hey, I'm advertise or query and say, give me some image. Some packets of some sort would say, hey, are you there? And then my Pixie Boot server would respond and say, yep, I'm here. Download this pre-boot environment and image the machine. It was so awesome. It was so magical to me to be able to click a button and have a machine totally turn on. Anyways, that's kind of, I think, what you're talking about, but I love it. What are you going to do with this? Are you imaging machines, I assume, deploying images or operating systems to Raspberry Pis? Let me know. Tor Kamada, tomorrow I'm going to be working on spinning up my first Kates cluster. All right, the dark side. We have some Red Hat OpenShift training at work, and it's pretty fascinating. Can't wait to get it spun up. Yeah, OpenShift is pretty awesome. So if you want hyper-converged and you want to do both Kubernetes and a hypervisor or virtualization on one machine or many machines, hyper-converged, both of them together, and run it at bare metal, if you want, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty incredible what OpenShift is able to do. So yeah, let me know how that goes. Good luck. It's fun, but it can be frustrating too at times. So don't forget to get out your kube control cheat sheet, unless OpenShift has great UIs for it. Then you might not even have to use it at all. Nephilim. Hello, Tim. How's it going? Geek Almighty. Hello. Abduram. Hey, Techno Tim in chat. How are you doing? Hope you're all doing amazing. Yeah, I am doing great. Like I said, a little headache today. I kind of feel like I'm hungover, even though I didn't drink anything. Like I said, I get dehydrated sometimes at night, but and then I wake up with the headache. But other than that, fantastic. Like great weather. Got a video out this morning. Helped my wife doing some painting, and so just it's great. It's Saturday too. I mean, what's not to like about Saturday? I mean, unless you work on Saturdays, but still, Saturdays are awesome. They have like their own vibe. Synth. Oh my gosh. Synth. That's what I'm going. Synth. Never tried network UPS tools. Always use APC, UPSD. Is it worth switching to? Yeah, great question. So I think people had that question. People had that question in comments. Should I switch or should I continue using this thing along with Grafana? And so if you have APC, UPSD set up, semi-familiar with it, it's, I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's APC's, open source driver and interface to be able to communicate with their UPSs. But it's only APC. And so it's fantastic at what it does. I think it gives you a relatively easy way to get that data inside of something like Grafana, which is awesome to build your dashboard from. So that kind of rules out some other things. I don't know on the monitoring side and being able to trigger certain events based on battery status. I'm sure that's all in there, but I haven't looked into it. I'm not sure if that's there. Probably is. I can't see why else you would build a tool like this unless you only wanted to get the data out, because if you're going to write the software to, for an interface for some hardware device, you might as well expose those things. Anyways, long story short, like if you already have that running and it's running great, yeah, I don't see any reason to switch to it. Nothing stopping you, though, from spinning it up as well. I do think that they use some of the same processes. I think behind the scenes, they might both use UPSmon. Don't quote me on that, but so you might have to do some unconfiguring and reconfiguring, but not a huge deal. I chose Nut Server because Triplight doesn't really have anything great or at all for Linux. I think they had something old. And then APC had something, and so I just had a variety of UPSs, and I was like, well, Nut Server covers these all, and it gives me a similar interface, so I don't have to worry about, okay, so this is an APC device, this is how I'm going to configure this, and one day I get a Triplight, or name your other brand, or CyberPower, or any other brand of UPS, like, you don't have to worry about that because they figured it all out. So as long as you configure the driver then will give it a unified interface to be able to communicate with other devices and let other devices communicate with them and query them. So anyways, it's more universal. It's a broad stroke approach to, kind of pulling all of these disparate UPSs together. So is it worth switching to? That's going to be up to you. I mean, what are you wanting to get that you're not getting now? Is it better? That's, debatable. But for me, I wanted, like I said, I have two different UPS vendors, and I just don't want to configure both utilities to do this same thing. And might not even be possible because they might both depend on UPSmon. Anyways, it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. But give it a shot. And if there are things you're missing in APC, UPSD, so many letters, yeah, check it out. I mean, they have great documentation on their site too. Their documentation is by far one of the best that's out there. They document every single variable that's even possible and even how to do it. So there's a lot, though. There's a lot, and that's why I created this video, and that's why that video is like 47 minutes long. This is like a saga for me. Like usually my videos are 15, 20, maybe 30. Nah, I've rarely done 30. This one I was like, I hope it's under an hour, but I was just like, well, this is what it is. It's as long as it needs to be. And I tried to cover every single thing that's in there. So I didn't want to break this up into multiple, today we'll do the server, next time we'll do the remote. No, it's just like, no, this is the ultimate guide. Like it's the only one you need. Pick and choose from the chapters what you need and go from there. But yeah, great question though. I don't know enough about it, but a lot of people use it. And so it can't be bad if a lot of people use that. That's not always true. Kosipa Gamer. Hey, first time here. Hey, welcome. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for chatting. Piece of Geek, it's nuts. Yeah, it totally is. AFT torpedoes fire. Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I assume you're talking about the 10K points, but hopefully something cool. Dunstable. Oh man, Dunstabler. Amsay. Oh my gosh, Ramsey. That's a lot of words together. I apologize for slaughtering your name, but hey, thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Thanks for being here. JF, John, how's it going? Well, hey, Tim, what's up, man? Every time I see JF, matter, I'm just like, I struggle through it, and I'm like, John, it's John. I remember way back the first time you said, just call me John. So how's it going, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. What are you working on? Takano, one of my mom's bosses threw it away because she saw it. So she asked if I could take it, and they just said, why not? All right, I love it. Your mom totally hooked you up. She's like, yeah, my son Takano, your name's probably not Takano in real life, but my son Takano likes those kinds of devices. Can you give it to him? Yeah, that's awesome. Good looking out, Mom. John, DDWRT, thank you. That's what it is. I was like having a moment where I couldn't remember the WRT54G replacement firmware. DDWRT and OpenWRT are good alternatives. I ran it for some time. Yeah, I did the DDWRT for a long time. I mean, like some of my routers, like my ultimate backup router, if something went totally wrong, is still running DDWRT and it's in a bin. Tomato was the other one that I ran, and I liked Tomato because it had a better UI, I thought, but wasn't as configurable as DDWRT. But yeah, I used to throw DDWRT on everything. I even bought a pro license once for this one eGenius kind of access point that was PoE powered. And this was like 10 years ago. I had a PoE powered eGenius access point, and I flashed the firmware with DDWRT. I think I had to buy a pro license at the time, so I don't know, $15 or something like that, and it was awesome. I still have that in a bin too. One day they'll make a return. Who knows? Maybe that in the future, like I don't know, 2.4 gigahertz will be deprecated and it'll get sold to something else really cool, and we'll be able to use it for something else. Highly doubt it. Takano, updating the firmware on it currently, but yeah, has corrosion on the two optical I always want to say plus SFP ports. Man, hopefully it works out okay. Droid, Razer, I have ESXi running, getting my vCenter ready to where I can just have ESXi install it for me. Nice. Yeah, you have quite the project going on. It sounds like a super fun thing to just like dive into on a Saturday and spend all day on it and get it figured out. And by, Saturday night, you're like, yeah, this is running, and then wake up and check on it tomorrow. Sounds awesome. Cowardly Bird. Hey man, would love to see you have a gaming stream once in a while again. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, maybe sometime. I've considered it a couple of times. I try to reserve this time for people who want to talk about things tech and give them an opportunity to speak about things that they're working on. This kind of goes way back to, where I realized, one, it actually plays out pretty well because it's pretty interactive. But two, I realized way back when I started this journey down this YouTube journey that I didn't have a lot of people to talk about this type of stuff too. And so I kind of leave that open for that. And I have played games here before. I think the last one I played was like Chex Quest, totally random. But my friend always used to talk about Chex Quest because we used to work for a cereal company that made Chex. But anyways, so he used to talk about it a ton, and I used to, so that was pretty much my last gaming stream, I think. I'd love to have like a community gaming night or something and on some self-hosted games. I would love that. That would be super fun. If you're interested in that, just put it in Discord. Let's schedule something. It doesn't even have to be a stream. It could be a Discord night. Anyways, yeah, I'd love to because, when I got to a point, at least with gaming, where I could guarantee that I was going to play games on a stream. So I kind of reserved all my game time for that. And now that I don't play games on a stream, I rarely play games. Like the only time I played games lately is like when I don't feel well and I'm like, just want to lay in bed. And I'm like, okay, now's the time that I would normally be doing something else. But because I don't feel well, I can't do that. And I'm just going to play some games. Long story short, I would love it. We'll see. Takano, 85 watts PoE power on 24 by 26 Ethernet ports. 4 of them have 60 watt PoE capabilities. Whoa, burning rubber there. Has 2 Ethernet SFP combo uplinks ports and then 2 dedicated optical SFP ports. Man, you got quite the steal. Especially its PoE too. Yeah, quite the deal for free. Your mom totally hooked you up by saying, hey, can my son have that? So nice. Sapphire Sunset, hello, hi. How's it going? Let's see, John, I finally getting the gaming streaming system work working the way that I like, I'm going to have to buy a few more parts to make it cleaner. Awesome. So you're working on the dual rig, 2-in-1 gaming streaming combo box, which I have dreamed about. But have never been able to do it. I haven't had enough guts to. So that's awesome, man. You'll have to refresh my memory on the hardware again. Oh, you posted in Discord. I'll find it. But sounds awesome. And I'm always curious, like how like, the challenges that you face. Like, okay, this is the gaming box that's in the same rig. This has a better GPU and lower probably CPU, but lots of RAM. And then this is the streaming, rig or PC that's inside the same rig that has a better CPU or maybe a low-end GPU just to do streaming coding with NVIDIA. Like, I'm always so curious about, that mental exercise of how people, divide up, like, this is the gaming PC, this is the streaming PC, they're both in one, and here's how I divided it up. So I'd love to pick your brain about that, because it's just so fun to hear people's thought processes on that, because I learned so much from it, because I've never done it myself, but I always hear about it, like Alpha Gaming, like Harris Heller from Alpha Gaming. He was one of the first I knew that did it. Well, I don't know him. I mean, I know him on the internet. He doesn't know me. But he had a couple videos on it. I was just like glued to it, because I love hearing people's thought process around that, because then I can start to, figure it out for myself though too. But anyway, sounds awesome, man. What parts are you waiting on? Nixon Nelson, hello, how's it going? FX editor. Oh, FX editor, nice. What are you using for your media server software? Let me grab a drink. So media server, so if you're talking about just like in-home streaming media, what software am I using? Plex. I ended up getting, well, one, I've been a huge fan of Plex for a long time. I've been running it for a long time. Like I can't even tell you how many years. And it all goes back to, I used to run, I've always recorded live TV on a PC. I say always, but I've been doing it since like 07 or something. Some of you probably weren't even born then. But since like 2007, maybe even earlier than that. No, actually earlier than that. What am I talking about? Since about 03, maybe 02, I've been running some sort of media center in my home on a PC, because I always wanted to record over the air TV. I just thought it was so awesome to be able to record something that was, analog over the air and digital, and keep it for as long as I want, or not watch commercials. And so I did that all the way back before Windows XP Media Center Edition. That's kind of probably dating my media server, but it goes back that far. And so then, like, once Media Center Edition kind of got deprecated, but Microsoft was still kind of selling it as an add-on for like Windows 8 or something, Plex kind of stepped up, and they might have done it before, but then they allowed TV tuners to be added to it. And then after that, it was kind of all over, because you got a great EPG, so electronic programming guide. You got a semi-decent transcoder, and you could record and schedule, and it was all great. So anyways, long story short, I've been on Plex ever since then, because and it was only used really for live TV, stored some videos, but then I started ripping videos, and then it was all over then. I used to have a ton of music on there too, and I don't even know why I do anymore, because I never hit play on any of the songs. I should. And they have Plex Amp now. And anyways, this is not a Plex commercial. I'm just a huge fan. So that's what I use for that. If that's what you're talking about for in-home streaming or consuming my own, content internally, that's what I use. If you're asking about like actually producing the stuff that I do elsewhere, let me know. I doubt that is. But yeah, that's what I use. A lot of people still use or will use or do use MB or Jellyfin. All great options. But like I said, I use Plex, and on top of that, like I was kind of holding out on subscribing to Plex until they offered this lifetime at a discount. So a lifetime membership, a Plex Pass at a discount. And then I was just waiting. I probably waited 9 months. I'm like, as soon as they do that, I'm totally going to sign up. Anyways, as soon as they offered it again at a discounted rate, I got it for like the half off the OG price, which ended up being like, I feel bad how little I paid for it, for how much I use it. Anyways, they're probably making money off my data anyway. So long story short, Plex, it works great. I feel like it just keeps getting better. They've been adding a lot of live TV stuff that I don't really like pay attention to. Maybe I should. And they've been adding like tons of free movie stuff that I don't really pay attention to. Maybe I should, but I don't know. I get it that they need to offer more. I personally, I feel like that's a distraction, but that's probably makes good business sense for them. Anyways, that's a lot about Plex, but FX Editor, that's what I use. That's what I use until something better comes along, or different, I should say. IoT Labs. Toilet opens, turns on the exhaust fan, and wax melter for 10 minutes. Wait, wax melter? Oh, like I thought you meant for the toilet ring. I was like, wait, what is going on here? You mean the wax melter, like for aroma? Okay, or to hide aromas. And locks the door. Oh, let me back this up. Okay, so you wired up. You've basically made your toilet or your bathroom smart by turning on the exhaust. Okay, so when the toilet opens, gotcha. Turns on the exhaust fan and the wax melter for 10 minutes and locks the door. Oh man, I like this. It will not unlock until they close the toilet lid. It's actually a contact sensor. I like it. The media server is ripping dads. I own the streaming just for my family. Okay, so two answers. I like it though. This is super interesting. So a sensor, when you move, I assume, the toilet seat, the fan kicks on, and the candle melter turns on and locks the door. That is interesting. I'm trying to think, like, could you accidentally lock yourself in or out? You know, maybe. Even if you did, I assume you have some way to get around it. But it sounds awesome. I'd love to see this in action. Just even like a 60-second clip of you demonstrating it without totally, not 100% demonstration, about just showing it, how it happens. Penguin Airlines. Hey, how's it going, man? Good to see you. How you been? Vasterniche. Has anyone used MikroTik devices? I just got one for free. Man, all these free devices floating around. Send on my way. And I was wondering if anyone has a preference on that, Ubiquiti or OpenSense. I'm sure there are lots of opinions on that. I am not qualified to answer that question because I haven't used MikroTik devices, but lots of people have. Lots of people are using them. It's a fantastic question for our Discord too, because you'll get a lot of follow-ups of people who have real devices in real environments. Me personally, I was all Cisco and then moved to Unify, so not a great person to ask that question. But a lot of people have a lot of opinions and are very passionate about that. John, since the streaming machine is ITX and AMD, I need to replace the Ryzen 5 2600 with a processor that has integrated GPU, so I can use the PCIe for the capture card. Always more RAM. Yeah, nice, man. So the streaming machine is ITX and AMD. Awesome. Okay, so it's small and has an AMD, but you need to replace with the Ryzen 5 2600 processor. Gotcha. So that's the one without the integrated GPU. That line, the 5s, I think there's another letter in the name if they have the GPU. So you can use the PCIe for the capture card. Gotcha. So you're using the one PCIe on that, the one PCIe slot, I guess you have on there for a GPU now, and you want to swap it out with a PCIe capture card. Awesome, man. That sounds awesome. I love it. Takano, some ideas for stuff you can add. Water check for 100 points. I like that. 20k points shuts down a random server, and that's about it. Oh man, so basically a chaos monkey. So you could buy a chaos monkey for 20k points. That would be kind of scary. So shut down random. You're testing my HA then. I like it. Can I exclude or add some servers to that the block list, because there are some servers that shut them down. Stream may or may not continue to go. The bot may or may not continue to go. Like especially my TrueNAS server. If you shut that down, that's the ultimate chaos monkey. I have no idea what's going to happen. I do, but it could be any number of pods and Kubernetes and storage everywhere. So I like it. Vasternick should have started there. Thanks, Ilud. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Thank you. I totally missed you. There are a number of folks on Discord that use them. Thank you, Ilud. Thank you. It's exactly what I said, but for some reason in my head I saw this and skipped over it, so I apologize. Thanks, Ilud. Appreciate it. Oh wow, look at these big gifted sub titles they have now in chat. I kind of like it. They're like a big card now. Let's see. Oh, good, Manny. Abdram, it feels so good to change lights. Never did it. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Did you go to Hawaii? I think you went. Not did you go to Hawaii, but which one did you redeem? Let's see. Thanks, buddy. To kind of take my mistake as a learning moment. Backups. Never backed up any of my Rancher server, and it just corrupted itself. Yeah, that's tough. I think we were talking about that last week too. And even just backing up is not enough. Test your backups every now and then. I mean, you don't have to do a full blown restore, but make sure that like your backups are not getting corrupt, or if you're tarring stuff up or zipping stuff up, that you can actually unzip them and see files in there and see data, check timestamps, and then if you back those up then to the cloud or off-site, make sure that those are happening too. So yeah, a lot of things to check in backups. I feel like I need, I do have backups for my backups, but I need monitoring for my backups and then for that backup too to make sure that they're not happening. On my cloud version, I do. Sounds so sophisticated, but basically, my cloud backup will notify me if it hasn't backed up anything in 24 hours, which is, a pretty good smoke signal to say, hey, something's not working. But at the same time, it's not at the file level or anything to say this specific file hasn't backed up. It's just all or nothing. Droid Razor, I posted diagrams last week on Discord. I got to get caught up then. I apologize. John, luckily I'm not super busy, closer to the end of the year, so I can get things wrapped up. All right, I like it. Piece of geek, I like bare metal for TrueNAS. Yeah, I totally agree. Nothing with the primary server affects storage. I totally agree. I just, I've been waffling. I'm not gonna lie, last couple of weeks, I've been thinking about going back to physical. Ooh, but it's, I don't want to see the extra wattage on my UPS, putting another load for another system that's, on 24/7. But I'm like balancing it out. I'm not going to show all my cards, but, I'm balancing it out because my disk shelf uses a lot of power. So if I could find a server that was lower power that still gave me at least half capacity of my disk shelf, if it's a wash in power, I get some more capability and some more availability. So these are the things I'm thinking about in my head, and I'm battling with. I'm sure it's the same thing you guys think about too. I totally agree. The nut command does not work, but it probably should. I like this. This is peanuts. I like it. Let's see. Damien Coop, Techno Tim. I try to install Proxmox and I make a VM, but I get internet speeds around 200 megabits. And I normally get 900 megabits on my PC. Interesting. That could be any number of things. So it depends on, So what I would check if that were me is first the type of NIC that you're using and the virtual hardware that you're giving to that device, the type that it is, the type of virtual machine that you're giving to that device or setting for that device is your hypervisor, pretty busy? What do the stats look like? Is it CPU bound, RAM bound, anything like that? Disk bound? Because when you move into a shared environment like that, I don't know how you're testing your speed test. Most people just take a big file and transfer it, and which is most of the time is a pretty good test. But if you're in a shared environment and you're doing that and other things are using that disk and those disks are busy, really you're just getting a slower write time, but exposes itself as a slower network throughput. So anyways, a lot of things to check there. Curious, tell me more about this VM and how you have it configured. See if we can figure it out. And then also, like if you want to join our Discord community and talk about it there, absolutely. That sounds like something I think we can all pitch in and figure out what's going on. But I would like to know the configuration of that virtual machine and if it's if you have noisy neighbors. It's a technical term, but if there are noisy neighbors on your hypervisor, aka other virtual machines that are using a lot of resources, thus constraining some of the resources that this one has. But yeah. Pizza Geek, OpenHab. Oh, sorry. Missed this. Dactyl X. I like it. It's like dactyl, like pterodactyl. Hey, real quick. Olif72. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Dactyl X. Hey, Tim. How much do you use IAC tools to mess around with in your home lab? Very little, if at all. To be honest, it's something I haven't even really dabbled in. I would like to have some time to do it, but let me know. Like, what are some that you use? What are some products that you use that do IEC for you? I assume you're meaning internet access controls, or maybe to be honest, I'd have to look up the acronym. I should Google it right now so I can speak more intelligently about it. I assume it's internet access control. Tell me if I'm wrong, but if I don't use separate tools, then if that's what you're talking about, then what's already given to me in something like my UDM Pro, or even DNS blocking with Pi-hole. But I mean, that's not true IAC if that's what you're talking about. Anyways, let me know. Tell me more. PC Geek, OpenHAB uses a NUT plugin as well. Nice. Yeah. Awesome. I haven't enabled it, but I should. I also use WebNut and Docker to see the NUT status. Absolutely. Yeah. I have those both set up right now. I had higher hopes for WebNut. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's awesome. Like, it gives me the same information as if I were to query it using UPSC, like the tool to query the UPS with NUT server. It gives me that same information, but it looks really nice on a table. And I think it uses Bootstrap and Python, like cool tech, newer tech, interacting with older tech. So pretty cool. I wish they did charting. Who knows? Maybe I should spin up or brush up my D3 skills, D3JS. So it's a charting library. I used to do a lot of it. Maybe I should brush up my D3 skills and contribute to this and add some charting to it, because I'd like to see, at least real-time data in WebNut, and that would push me over the edge to not use the CGI version that's served through Apache. Because I mean, it's one thing to read the values, the actual value, but it's another thing to see the value visualized. A 60%, the number 60. Looks a lot different than a bar chart that says 60. You're like, well, that's pretty far up there. Anyways, I'm a visual person anyways, and I like UI stuff. But yeah, I use it too. The nice part is that, yeah, because it's you run it on Docker, you can run it anywhere. As long as it can communicate with your NUT server, it queries the NUT server, gets the data out, and plots it. Or it doesn't plot it, but it puts it in a chart or a table. It's pretty awesome. Jad Games, good to catch some of the stream, but I got to go to bed. See you guys. Good night. See ya. Techno, I forgot to mention that I got 3 more of those Intel 2 Core 2 Duo machines. Nice, man. Dude, nice. You get all kinds of good stuff. I need to follow you around one day and figure out where you're getting this stuff from, and just be your shadow one day, because you find all the good deals. TD5150, I just joined. Tim, are you going to do a new YouTube video showing your current home setup, rack, server, switches, etc.? Yes. Yeah, I did. I kind of did. So in the one I released today, there's a scene at the end of the 47-minute video where I show a lot of what I've done so far. And I hinted in there, I basically said, like, hey, you're getting a sneak peek to something that's coming soon. Yeah, absolutely. It's coming soon. I don't know if it's next or next after that, but it is. It's about time. I have my server room. I don't want to say finished, but in a spot to where it doesn't look like the grow room that it looked like before. It wasn't a grow room, but that's the on-running joke for that room. Anyways, it doesn't look like a storage closet anymore. It actually looks like a pretty okay room, and I got a lot of hardware and things mounted, and wires run pretty okay, and things arranged okay, and some lighting, all things it didn't have before. So yeah, absolutely, it's coming. Chicano, time to clean them up and sell them. All right, just got them in. I like it. Always hustling. I like that. I appreciate the hustle, man. Nephilim, got a question for you. What would you do with a Raspberry Pi Zero? Yeah, that's a great question. I have one in my environment. What I do is pretty lightweight stuff. So a couple of things. So like one, you could run Pi-hole on a Raspberry Pi Zero. It'll totally run fine. Like DNS request and resolution it takes very little resources. So that's actually a really good case for a Pi Zero. Like, if you're going to be hitting the UI hard with like 10 people, probably not the best tool for it, because that's probably the most intensive thing that Pi-hole does is someone driving the UI or updating its rules. But for doing DNS resolution, totally fine. So if you're not running Pi-hole yet, Pi Zero is a great device to do that on. But what I do with mine is, I kind of hinted at it earlier, my Pi Zero right now just runs a bunch of scripts to check to see if my servers are on. If they're not on, it will wake them up. And so it sends a magic packet, a wake online packet to wake those guys up if they're not on. And that's all it does right now. I mean, it logs it out, but it's this series and this fallback to ping the device. Does it respond? If it does, ping it again. Do nothing. If it doesn't respond, ping it again. If that doesn't respond, it's going to reset its own network adapter, because sometimes those can get stuck, and it wants to be for sure that it's not itself. And then it'll go through this routine again. Okay, ping it some more. Okay, it's still not responding. It's actually going to reboot after that, and it doesn't respond. It reboots itself because it's like, okay, I want to make 100% sure that, I can't contact this thing. And then in the end, I think it's going to end up waking it up. And so that's what I have mine doing. It's going to change. Like I hinted earlier, I'm going to base this on power now, because I don't want to keep waking up a machine if it's just shut down and my UPS is on battery power. That makes no sense. Then I'm going to get in the same predicament I was before, like not having a graceful shutdown. I'm going to have a hard power outage when the UPS dies. So more stuff like that. But there are lots of little things you could do. I mean, just look at any kind of Raspberry Pi project. As long as it's not anything too intensive, Pi Zeros are fantastic. They do a ton of stuff. The nut server that I was just talking about today could be something you could do. If you have a UPS, like a dumb UPS, like it has a data port, with a RJ45 in it, that has USB on the other end, which is how some of these older UPSs work. They don't have a USB port. You could do that and monitor your UPS. You could turn your UPS into a very, very smart UPS using Nut Server. Pi Zero is a great device to do that with. I think that's exactly how PC Geek runs his too. He runs a Nut Server on a Pi Zero, and it works out fantastic. So anyways, lots of stuff you could do. I would just, think about the types of problems you want to solve in your environment, see what types of projects are out there, and then, temper your expectations. If it's going to be something that's really CPU intensive or needs lots of RAM, probably not the best choice for it. But most things for Pi projects are going to work on a Pi Zero, unless it's, you're going to run a Plex server on it. Probably not the best project for it. But even on a Pi Zero, if you look at older, Pi 1 type projects, similar specs. So let's see. APC has APC UPSD on Linux, but it's not as powerful as Nut. I think as Nut. Oh, nice. Good to have that experience, because I haven't used it yet. I know they're solving similar problems. But Nut Server has been fantastic so far. Let's see. Oh, I went way over and I said we're gonna kind of be on time. All right, I'm gonna look for some comments that mention me directly. There's one here, right here, and then we'll kind of get into the end of it. So let's see. FX Editor. Hello, longtime follower. On the other side, I loved your tour of your home lab. Thank you. I'm currently running 2 RX 720DX servers and 512 gigs of RAM with Unraid, and the other is Proxmox 7 along with 20 terabyte TrueNAS server. Nice, dude. That sounds like fantastic. Dude, Home Lab New gifted a tier 1 sub to Brandon. PDX, a lot of stuff. To Brandon. Hey, dude, Home Lab New, how are you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for gifting that sub. Oh, man. Thanks for gifting that sub. Are you in the US or UK today? I'm betting UK. He's a jet setter. He's always here or across the pond. Dude, Chaotic, man. Dude, thank you so much. Gifted 5 tier 1 sub. Dude, thank you. Appreciate it. UMS, Playa, Redstone Games, Turkey Turnkey, Cyberfart, and Chris, by the way. Enjoy your gifted sub from Chaotic Q42. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the gifted subs. Appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna look for mentions. Here we go. Takano, firmware update was successful. All right, man. I like this. I thought you were gonna implement these in your home lab, but you're like, nope, gonna fix them up and sell them. I love the hustle. Let's see. I gotta look for mentions because I am over time, even over my normal time, and I said I was gonna try to end on time. Meanwhile, my wife's out there painting. Like, is he done yet? No, she's never like that. Anyways, IoT ME Labs. I have an emergency unlock, but it changes every time it's used. I like it. Yeah, you always got to keep a backdoor for yourself. and systems like that. And this is like a literal backdoor into the to the bathroom. Well, virtual, figurative backdoor, but through the door that is not figurative. It's weird, but awesome, man. I'd love to see it in action. You should do a 60-second clip of it in action, minus like someone really doing the business. You know, that would be sweet. Take me in NL. Techno Tim, I almost said Techno. Go work for a hosting company. They throw a lot away. So free hardware. I got a Huawei switch, 48 port, 1 gig, and 4x10 gig SFP plus. Lucky. That's my dream switch right there. A 48 port, 1 gig, PoE, with 4 SFP plus ports. That's my dream switch. So yeah, lucky. Must be nice. That's awesome. Working for a hosting company does sound awesome. I bet they do give a lot of stuff away. You know, they're like, well, we can give it away for pennies or let one of our employees have it. Let's let our employee have it. It sounds awesome. Takano, gonna need some help with VLANs on a Cisco switch, but I love the stream, dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can try to help. It's when I had my Cisco switch, I did not cover VLANs, but it's pretty well documented, and I can help you too for sure. And I'm sure there are tons of people who know networking better than I do that can help as well. Korik, would you help me set up my RTX 3090 on Ubuntu for Darknet? Hey, yeah, I have a video on that. I assume that's how you came here. Let me know what your problems are. I have that video that covers how to set up, a 3090 on Ubuntu with the right drivers and getting Darknet running to do some AI. So it's not the dark web, it's Darknet. It's this actual utility to help do object detection or person detection based on video or static images. And I also have the documentation that backs that should give you all of the commands and configuration. So Eric, let me know. But that should do it. I assume you're coming here from there because that's exactly what I covered in there. And also, if you join the Discord community, I could try to offer some tips or hints if you're getting specific errors because I know how it feels to be stuck and it stinks. It stinks. Then you start Googling stuff and then you end up even more stuck because you're like, I applied like 15 fixes to this one problem. Now I don't know which one to undo or which one actually fixed it. But anyways. Chaotic, appreciate the style and information in your streams and videos. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. John, hi. What do you think of an Android for a home lab setup? Oh, man. I'm looking at, what? Think of an Android? Hold on. I'm looking at Proxmox and Unraid for general usage, a couple of VMs and ZFS storage. Appreciate the advice. Ooh, an Android. I assume you mean operating system, like Google's operating system. Sounds awesome. Yes, do it. It sounds awesome. Let me know how it goes. I'm curious. I have an Android device, which is my phone. Obviously, there are tablets and other things that run Android. Even NVIDIA's TV device runs Android. But I'm curious, like what would be running on there? I'm curious what you're going to run on there. It sounds awesome. If you can get by with it or like an old tablet and you have some services and you can install them on there and they run, yeah, that sounds awesome because one, tablets in general and phones are pretty low powered compared to everything else. Two, they usually have a pretty decent ARM processor. Three, they have expandable storage in the form of SD cards. And four, they have a built-in UPS. They have a battery backup built into them. Not a true UPS, but they have a battery. So yeah, interesting thought. Let me know. The stealth giraffe. I like this. Hey, curious how long you're planning on streaming today. It's ending right now. Our conference, C-Cubed Con, is wrapping up at 6:30ish. We're looking for some streams and tech to raid. Hey, thank you. I appreciate the offer. It is going to wrap up now. It's 4:20. So I am going to wrap it up now. I usually end it right around 4 CST. So I apologize. I do appreciate the offer on rating. So thank you. Wait, was that a wrapping up? Our conference CQ's wrapping up, and we're looking for streams in tech to raid. So I appreciate it. At first I thought, well, were you asking me to raid you or other way around? Anyways, hey, that sounds awesome. If you guys want to check out the Stealth Giraffe, they're doing a conference for C-Cubed. I don't know what that is. CubeCon. You should totally check that out after this. I'm gonna go real fast now. All right, struggling to get the CUDA drivers. Okay, when building Darknet via Make, I get errors that I wouldn't solve. I saw your videos, and it's just one video, right? Yeah, it is tough. I tried to do it on Windows and Docker, and then I tried to do it in Windows, Docker and using WSL2 with some beta version of Docker that works with WSL2, and it was a nightmare. And that's why I ended up moving over and dual booting again into Ubuntu so I could do it there. Post some errors somewhere, and maybe I can point you in the right direction. Let's see, John. I meant Unraid for Home Lab. Oh my gosh, autocorrect. Okay, I was like going down this weird path of Android. I was like, this sounds super interesting. Like you could maybe do it if you could just get an Android operating system and install some stuff on it, sideload a bunch of stuff. Maybe that sounds awesome. Okay, guys. Hey, we're out of time and we're out of comments that mention me directly. I do apologize if I skipped over you, but I have to wrap it up because I want to be conscious of your time. So if you have questions, you can absolutely ping me kind of anywhere. Discord is usually the place. If you are interested in tech, interested in talking more about home lab stuff, technology, how you solve problems, how you write code, how you get darknet running on a GPU with Ubuntu, you should totally join. It's a place full of almost 5,000 people who are interested in tech. A lot of people lurk. To be honest, I lurk a lot too. I try to keep in contact with most people. Anyone who pings me in there, I'm absolutely going to follow up at some point. Might not be right away, but I'll try my best. But if you have anything you're interested in or curious about or have more questions, absolutely join. There are tons of people in there who are super smart, who are a lot smarter than me, that can help you. And I don't want to say, hey, we're just like a help community, but have a lot of great ideas on either things to do or ways to solve things or just even chit chat about things. Lots of tech memes too that I totally enjoy. I love waking up or revisiting Discord and scrolling through them and chuckling to myself. So tons of tech focused memes that I totally enjoy. And there a lot of, some of the humor is fantastic. So anyways, thank you so much for showing up today. I will be back next Saturday. I might have something throughout the week. I'm not sure because my next one is kind of a bigger one. So it might take me longer than a week to get done, just as this one did, because it was so long and so much going on. But I just check for it. And if you need me, like I said, ping me. I'll try to get back to you. Thank you so much for joining today. Have a great rest of the afternoon. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy your weekend. And be good to each other. Take care, folks. See ya.